Hi, welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. Well, we have got I was going to call it a 3-note jam. It's actually 4 though, because I'm bending one of our notes a lot. So the 3 notes that you just saw, it moved around the different octaves, okay? But the 3 notes were, okay, these 3, up here that's, and then that highest note bent. Okay, so that's just the one of the elements that we need to use we're going to go back and use our 3-component system on this. If you're not familiar with that, if you haven't watched those videos on this channel, this is still going to make sense. But just so you know, those of you that are familiar with it already know what I'm talking about. That's where we got a simple kind of program for improvisation that combines 3 essential elements. And the elements are chords or progression, okay? In this case, we got 2 chords, E and A. I'll show you in a second. And so we got chords, number 1. Number 2, melody. So sometimes that's scales, arpeggios, vocal line, bass lines, right? Sequences of notes that go with the chords, okay? In our today, we're restricting ourselves to just those 3, and then bent 4, and then if we count. Okay. So that's our note sequence. Not going to be a lot of memorization to keep up with there. And then the 3rd element that makes up a piece of music is timing or counting, right? Time elements. How long we hold notes, the tempo of the tune of the song or the jam, the length of notes and rest, times that we're not playing, okay? Things like that. So we're going to do a little bit of counting in this, but this is a real kind of, experiential lesson. So I don't want to get into anything tedious about the counting, but just to remind you that we want to use intentionally, try out and audition different ideas of resting and holding things, some things longer than others, and staying on one note. We're really going to work out on that today and see how powerful that can be. That one simple idea, letting the chords change behind what you're playing rather than chasing the chords, okay? And, to make all of this fun and make sense and really, I think, hopefully, let you experience what we're going for here today is we want to use a pretty simple progression, okay? So the chords here are E, I think I used an E9. Just a bluesy chord, could be an E7, okay? Or just E. One of those bluesier dominant sounding chords sounds good. 2, 3, 4 measures of this. Then we're just going to go to the A. For 2 measures. Okay, and then we're just starting over on the E again. So we're not going through the whole 12-bar blues thing. But of course, all this stuff would work with a 12-bar. We're just really drilling into that feeling of changing from the 1 to the 4, okay? And in the key of E, that's E and A. So what are our 3 elements? Chords, melody, and time elements. Chords, got them, E and A. Melody. Those 4 notes in any way you want to put them together, okay? And then, just so you know, too, and you can do the exploration on this. in that intro, those two are literally the same notes, the same octave, just played in a different part of your guitar. I was also doing like some... Hear how that's the same notes, just in two different octaves? Okay, so don't worry about that lick that I'm playing right there. I'm just doing that to demonstrate that it sounds the same in all these different octaves. But if you want to do something like that, either use that little rip, something that involves those three notes. Right? And I'm going faster than I need to right now, but I'm just showing you the idea. So you stop the video and explore that, right? You got those 4 places. Okay? Now, just pick one of them. I'm going to start here. I like this as my area here. I like this one too a lot. And I'll drop down and do some stuff on the open stuff, especially in E, because that works out really good in that key. But I really like this zone right here around this 5, 7. I just like that, the way the guitar feels right around in here. So you notice I play a lot right around in here. So let me just put this track on. Doesn't matter where you start playing with it. When I drop in here, but you're kind of anticipating that really powerful blues feel of changing from that E to A, right? So let's see where we end up. Well, we're pretty close to where it starts over. Now, I'm going to do a lot of repetition. Just a little more resting. That was a lot of notes, right? I need a little break in there. Okay. Really had to get funky with that one there on the end. So, you see where we're going? This isn't something where it's going to be, a real kind of a lot of explaining about the notes and the chords today, right? This isn't like, well, we're going to use this mode and here's a bunch of diagrams. Some of our lessons are like that. This one is really about taking a few notes and really stylizing them. And, the vibrato and the bending techniques and stuff, I know that's awkward at first, and it's not, it's just kind of doing that. I want to mention that because I realize I'm doing that like on every note. And that in and of itself might be a skill that you're working on, right? So I understand that. But wherever you are with that part of your playing, let it be, just what it is, because it's working for you. That stuff's going to work out over time. You can't really kind of cram that into, a couple weeks practice or something, right? So the practice loop will be at the end of this lesson. And there's other videos on this channel that I think would really support this lesson. The ones on counting, where you have different note values, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets. I played some triplets in there. Remember the triplets? It's where you have 3 notes in the space of one beat. So for 1, 2, 3, 1, dun, dun. dun, 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 dun. There were some eighths. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sixteenths. Okay, I'm not counting every single one of those notes in my head perfectly, okay? And you know, those other lessons are really better. They really just deal with those skills. And so if you if you got a little lost there when I was just on the terms 16th, triplet, eight, go back and watch those because that'll really help you. But the real point here was to intentionally use different feels, because here's how this works. If you don't really have to think about the chords, you just get used to that pattern. And you don't really have to think about the notes because your muscle memory takes over real fast when you just use like 3 notes, right? Then it frees up a lot of processing room in your processor, right? And what you can move into is more of connecting to the feeling of what you want to do between your body and the guitar, right? So I know that sounds a little, pie in the sky. But does that make sense? You don't have elaborate stuff to keep track of about a scale and the chords and what triad I'm on and all that today, right? So you're really just really vegging out on that. But don't be afraid to just repeat stuff to where it almost seems ridiculous. Here, I'll show you. I'll move to a different position too. So the same notes. Right. Was that ridiculous enough, or do I need to do it? Okay. Now, a couple times I might have, hammered from a different note there or something. It's kind of hard to restrict yourself to those few notes, especially if you're used to, I could connect that back to, I could. By all means, don't, if you get tired of just doing what I'm demonstrating there, go ahead and, let yourself go. But the discipline on this is, the challenge is, hey, how much music can I make with these 3 notes or 2 notes or 1 note? There's the real challenge. Boy, it really makes it feel good when you finally move that. I like to do it on a bent one. So A lot of the stuff I've done so far has been where I'm filling in a lot of space. Now let me really emphasize the intentional use of rest. Okay, oh, I might have stepped out there again. So is this making sense? Pretty straightforward. I just want to I'm doing more playing today because I just want to give you, ideas and examples and things that you can really hear and see, right? That aren't so much verbal explanations for it, right? Here's your program on this. Chords. Down to that A. Back to that E. Whole thing starts over. Notes. Try them in different octaves. Okay. Timing, feel, rest, different kinds of note values, meaning, how many, notes per beat and measure and stuff like that. And then that challenge, the mindset is here is how much can I squeeze out of this simple or not so much simple, because it can be as elaborate as you want. But this minimal number of choices that we've set up for ourselves. And I say that in terms of the chords and the notes, because the number of choices of what to do with bends and timing and dynamics is pretty much endless, right? So that's kind of what I'm wanting you to experience here. Just a couple more, little bit of an example, and get you right into the practice loop and have some fun with this. I hope I talk to some of you soon. Thank everybody so much for the comments and all the feedback and the support that many of you are giving this channel. It's just wonderful. I just really look forward to, have so many other responsibilities and things, but the time that I've allotted to work on this channel is something that I just really look forward to every week, and I hope you do too. Okay, I'll talk to you next time.